Should get some takers. Invite. This guy has a bleeding key equipped, that's a problem. Close all. Squad. Okay. So these are fairly low-level people, except for Boinger Master, who has a Wisp, which is going to save my bacon. You got a bunch of Energy Siphon and Steel Charge. Well, Steel Charge because that's a native polarity on him. There we go. No. I wouldn't inflict that on anyone. Okay, so low levels. There's survival on Mercury. Rescue. Let's see. Polydorus. Survival. Boop. All right. One of the other advantages of going with lower level is the enemies stay easy a lot longer.
The infested are releasing toxic spores into the area. The emergency life support delivery is your
That
only chance
is
for
a
survival.
range-oriented Wisp,
Life support capsule to the area.
which isn't to say that that's not viable. It is perfectly viable, but let me find that synthesis target. Where are you?
Fallen enemies will will drop
It is.
crucial life support. Be on the lookout.
It's probably not mine though, because mine I think I haven't activated, which is too bad. Shows that I am a lazy. Alright. It's way over here, I guess. It's fine.
Alright, Hunter.
Ah.
I will reward you. should you
Excellent.
perform synthesis.
There we go. Easy. Just sat there and took it. I love it.
Support incoming.
So, you're welcome all. Now we can get back to the dirty business of keeping our life support up, and me basically standing around, existing as a mobile desecration machine. Not bad work if you can get it.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
Oh, because we're all split up. That's my fault. Not sure what Topaz Hockey's doing way over there, but he's doing it.
Prepare for life support.
So yeah, as you can see, I've just been holding down this Convectrix laser this entire time. And it is not draining ammo except when I'm actually damaging enemies. Which is quite good for ammo economy. It did not have problems before, and it has even fewer now.
Another
Its
life
main
support
issue,
capsule
in terms of
now
ammo,
available.
is that it's just kind of weak in general. It does not have the kind of impressive punch that the, say, Phage, a similar weapon, has. But it's got more range for sure, and this doesn't have the range boost either. So it's basically like a flux rifle that uses shotgun mods for all intents and purposes, which has value. For sure, it has value. We need to stick together, is what we need to do.
Ready for a capsule.
So Wisp, by dint of having an ability that gives significant regen, as well as boosted max health, is excellent for a Despoil Necros. Because the Despoil Necros, who's using the Despoil augment for Desecrate, is going to be using his health as the resource instead of energy. So the Despoil Necros can focus on other things. Actually, probably means I can go with
Needed. Extraction is ready.
a more strength-oriented build
Just
rather
made
than a
their first
or
discovery.
whatever I'm using.
Keep up the good work.
Which is mostly range, I think. But I could afford to plop some more strength on there and not care as much about energy costs. Yeah, as you can see, Convectrix, I mean, these are low-level enemies and infested at that, so they tend to be a bit fragile to begin with.
Life support on
It's
the way.
putting in work. What is that cat doing? What on earth? Oh, my cat. My cat is being a snoot. The possible disadvantage with a Convectrix is that it is almost comically precise. It's for a shotgun weapon, it does not have the kind of crowd clearing, crowd control
Another life
options
support capsule is now.
that you'd expect. I mean, you can set the beam to be wide and sweep in and out. You can do that, like I'm doing right now, which is okay. It just, you know, for what purpose? A beluga. Actually, are belugas porpoises? I seem to recall that they are. Well, no matter. I have to get with the group.
Life support on the way.
Ah, got something in my eye. So I'm playing half blind. Ah, of course. Of course there's an update inbound. And we're only 7 minutes in. Not even halfway.
Delivered another life support capsule.
So, with this formation on the Convectrix, which basically makes it kind of go in and out, or open shut like scissors, it's not very fast. Uh, so it's just reminds me of playing with some of the pale wing weapons in like Earth Defense Force 2. I didn't read that second message. What was that? To tease Duviri, all color palettes are now black and white until you click. Great idea, right? No? Ah, crap. I don't even know what Duviri is offhand. Oh, the Duviri, it's the skin for Wukong, which I will be grabbing. Because the deluxe skins are rad. I don't get all excited over skins for, like the Tenno-gen skins. I don't get too excited over those, mostly. I've got a couple of the Cyandanas, but not much else. Might wind up getting one or two of the operator cosmetics, because some of those are pretty promising. Let's see. Adding Rhino's ability videos to his arsenal diorama, such confusing ability names like Rhino Stomp will surely now make more sense. Speaking of, imagine if all Warframes kept their name in abilities. Wukong Defy, Excalibur Radial Blind. Let's just say naming Rhino's abilities is of a different time. It's true. Rhino is old.
The longer you fight, the more successful you will be.
Rhino was introduced a little ways after I had actually joined the closed beta at that time, so I remember his release fairly well. And yes, Iron Skin was in fact as broken as it was, as people claim. It was pretty strong. Random color now chooses across multiple palettes. Thank you. That's right, you asked for it, now you have it. No complaining allowed. We also have +5 new favorite color slots for you. Very good. It's the little things. It's the little things. Yeah, I definitely want to be getting the boost from those. Just gotta remember every 45 seconds to go over there. Yeah, so this is a survival. There aren't very many enemies popping up, which is a bit problematic. I don't think we're close enough together. One-third of the way in. Let's see. Wukong Deluxe, coming in 1 minute, fixed previous acts, being visually marked as complete. If the same act was complete in Series 1, this probably made Nightwave a bit tough for some of you, but here we are, fixing it. I have not had that problem, I don't think, so that's good. But I'm glad they are fixing problems. These are important things to fix, since Nightwave is the one and only means of getting things like Nightane now. And other such doodads. I still think that the Nightwave system should have been in addition to the old alert system, as opposed to a replacement, because as a replacement it leaves a lot to be desired, particularly for new players. Yes, new players can focus on getting the things they want, or people can focus on getting the things they want, but Nightwave was down for a while, so there was no way to actually get those things for that duration, which was like a month, or better part thereof. There's new players, by and large, when confronted with that stuff, have no idea what they want, because they have no idea what to be farming for obvious reasons. They're too new. They don't know. They haven't experienced enough of the game to know, hey, you know, this is a thing I want. Now, player suggestions, sure, that'll get them, help them make a decision. But at the same time, it's like, well, here's all this stuff. Basically, what I'm saying is, right now, there's like no filter, there's no funnel, and that can be a bit problematic for new players. I know I've spoken with a bunch of new players that I tried to get into the game who are like, I just am totally overwhelmed. I don't know what I should be focusing on. And I'm like, well, get stuff. Focus on filling out your mod library. Focus on getting weapons and warframes, particularly warframes, because those help you get more mastery rank standing. And give you all sorts of new ways to play the game. Not mastery rank standing, just mastery in general. And from there, it's kind of like, a lot of the time at that point, when they're asking that question, they're about to leave anyway, and I give them that, and they're like, well, there's just so much of it. Can you give me suggestions? And I'm like, well, how do you want to play? There's probably a frame for that. And goodness knows there is a frame for that. Like, if there's a role, someone's filling it. I think maybe we could do better in terms of having a really dedicated minion class. We've got some inroads on that, but no one who really, you know, we're not talking Diablo 2 Necromancer here. Which I still hold up as kind of the near gold standard for minion classes in an action game ever, really, to say nothing of specifically top-down isometric ARPGs. So I think we could do with a more dedicated minion class. We've got some classes that do that, fill that void. You've got, heck, Necros for one. I got minions. You can't really do anything with them. You've got Korra, who has a minion, which you can direct in much more specific fashion in terms of telling it what to do. But it's still kind of dodgy, the AI. That's a recurring theme. You've got Nyx, who mind controls enemies. One enemy directly and gives them a significant boost so that they are quite potent at killing other enemies, but the AI is dumb, so basically acts as kind of like a meat shield. And then Chaos, which makes them all shoot whatever they want to shoot, including each other. It's like a radiation proc, more or less. And then you have, what's-his-face, Revenant, who does the sort of direct mind-controlling route, but they're very disposable. The mooks he makes, the mooks he captures, rather. Highly disposable. In fact, that's kind of intended. It's part of his intended design, is, oh, you've got these mooks you just captured, you have a bunch of them, you have like 7 or 8, but you ultimately want to get rid of them. You don't want them around. Because they leave behind that delightful pillar of light, they can provide you with shields, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, not really any dedicated minion class. Octavia, I guess, is another one that sort of skirts around that, as does maybe Valben. In terms of Valben is kind of like your engineer type class, or turret, quote unquote, with his little balls that he throws around. And Octavia with her mallet and what is the other one called? Not a puck, thumper, something like that. Her aggro balls. So you've got a lot of almost but not quite minion classes frames, but none that really fill that void to a hilt, fit that description to a T or fill that void to a hilt. It's not like their be-all, end-all is the mooks around them. And of course, part of the reason for that is they'd be useless, utterly useless against bosses. And that's a very strong argument against. Hope that person isn't still there, or I'm going to be upset. We still have 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 11 and a half minutes. Then we can get on with our lives. As you can see, going pretty smoothly. These enemies aren't they are not a big deal at all. Because they're low level. But the Convectrix is good for this. It's got, I've got punch through on it. Not a mountain of it, but enough. It's got slash damage predominantly, so it's cutting up the bodies, which allows me additional chances to desecrate their corpses. Sometimes I get those instant reloads, and I'm not sure what that's all about. I have not figured that one out. I do not know for sure what is causing that. Because it's not one of Wisp's buffs. I'm not sure what does it. And I've had it a couple times, but only since I've been using the Convectrix that I've noticed. So I don't know if there's like an additional gimmick I'm just totally unaware of, or what. Here we go.
We will all share in this battle. Hold out as long as you can.
Now, ideally, I'd like to go for 40 minutes. But hey, at least it doesn't require you add these people to your friends list, right? Yeah, right. Alright, give me all those ancients. Yeah, yeah, my ancient squad. Is that damaging to me? No, it is not. So yeah, I have strong opinions about many things in Warframe, as people have noticed. I try to be, I don't know, equanimous, equitable. I try to be, okay, there's reasons why things are the way they are, but occasionally I'm just like, come on, guys. So Nightwave, the implementation of Nightwave instead of the alert system, completely replacing it, I take some umbrage with. Trials being removed completely for Eidolon hunts, I take umbrage with. And that only got worse when they were like, oh, it's like solar rails and dark sectors. And I'm like, yeah, those are those things that left and never came back. So that was a terrible example, or a perfect one. I don't know which. So that was just insult to injury. It's like, oh, we've always planned to bring it back. It's like, yeah, but you didn't. You haven't, and at this stage you probably never will. And then, what's the other? There's another one. Oh, Rivens. I take immense umbrage with Rivens. Now, I agree that the meta was pretty stale pre-Riven, because it's like, oh, you get the same couple mods. The power creep was steady, whereas Rivens were like, oh, let's make the power creep immense. It's not so much a creep as a huge leap. Power jump. Spike, if you will. What is this ping for? This ping better be something significant or I'm going to be upset. Ah, it is significant. I am not upset. It is an amber. I will take. I like ambers. Ambers are good. Ambers fill me with joy because I need so many of them. Excellent. Excellent. So yeah, ribbons. Ribbons I find obnoxious. I'll use them because they're there, but if they got removed, like tomorrow or today, I would be totally okay with it. I would not shed a single tear. Now, the reason that'll never happen is because people have spent some big plat on those. And to have them floating around in the system, but not removed completely, would mean some people would just have an immense, arguably unfair advantage over others in a co-op game where the goal is not to shoot each other and ribbons can't be used in the competitive part. So... yeah. But I would not miss them if they left tomorrow. I'd be like, that's too bad, and plat went away, but at the same time, I'll live. Can always make more plat. That's not a big deal. And frankly, what I think they should do is just do a rework of the system a lot. And of course, the meta will wind up becoming stale and solid and set in stone like it was before anyway. But it's not really any different now. It's just you now have the additional, you now have to get a, in quotes, a optimal ribbon setup. And I'm not all about that lifestyle. Which isn't to say I don't have some damn fine ribbons, but I've also mostly gotten trash.
Look what our Tenno operative just found. They could not
5
do this
more
without-
minutes. 7 minutes. That's all I have time to play with you, Cress. Is that Resident Evil 5? Ugh. Let's forget about that series. I haven't played the newest one. I shouldn't even talk about it. That's not what this stream is for. This stream is ruminations. me mumbling softly to you while I do pretty lights on the screen. Oh my god, this cannot end soon enough. Come on. 4.5 minutes. I'm so close. I can taste it. My thumb is actually getting a little bit tired, believe it or not. The worst part is this isn't even going to max out my convectrix. This is just gonna like get it up to like level 20 maybe at best. Right now it's at 11. So it's not gonna be dramatically improved beyond that. It's gonna be maybe double that. So 22-ish. Call it 23. Which isn't bad, I guess, but it's like I kind of want to be done leveling up the convectrix and have it where I want it to be, and start forming other weapons that I'd rather play with, like, I don't know, practically anything. Okay, that's enough out of you. Have a taste of my friends. There we go. It was an Exodus, you know. Yeah, now they're starting to get eczema. These things. They're throwing these things at us. But yeah, Convectrix. It's pretty rad, is what I'm saying. It's not mind-blowing. It's also not a weapon. I would never say a weapon needs a Riven to be viable. Ever. I will never say that. Because the mod system lets you make things strong enough for the basic star chart content.
Life support has been replenished.
That star chart content is pretty much irrelevant. All it takes is like basic knowledge of enemy resistances and realizing that multi-shot is unbelievable, and and you want to get those basic damage mods on there, but mostly you want elementals. Multi-shot, elementals, straight damage, and then whatever else, really. Punch through is great for utility. I highly recommend it. Most of the game to this day is still basically corridors, so you absolutely cannot go wrong with punch through, because that is enemies you are damaging that you wouldn't be damaging otherwise, or at least not as much. Except for launchers. It does not help launchers at all. It makes their lives incredibly difficult, makes them really bad. Well, not bad, it just means you need a crowd, or you just have to learn how to jump in the air and shoot down without killing yourself, really. Which is doable. Oh yeah, let's start grouping up at the exit. Alright.
Another life support capsule is now available. Support activated.
So close I can taste it. And then I'll be quitting out and restarting my client. Ooh, what am I doing? I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way here. There we go. A fair amount of, not forma, but, oh my goodness, great gosh, golly gee willikers, oh boy. There's a lot of everything I just got there. Somebody's been camping. That's good. Okay, let's get out of here.
The longer you fight, the more successful we will be.
Make sure that Nightwave pop-up happens.
Life support incoming.
All right. So yeah, sorry about the glitch in the middle there. Thunderstorms.
Mission
There we go.
complete.
Excellent.
Excellent work, Tao.
Progress.
Of one person acting true to their truest self.
All right. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I do it every week. Same time, same station. I'm Fraggoth. This is Warframe, and yes, I will be logged out in 15 minutes. I know. That's fine. I also have my Storytime Saturday stream coming up. Still waiting for someone to get back to me if they have a preference between Snow Crash or Blind Sight to be read. Otherwise, I'm going to have to flip an actual coin in order to determine that one. And that could end up with anything. I mean, the coin might land on its side, for goodness sake. What do you even do then? All right. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day.